So we've been looking at lists throughout this entire course until now just because we're using them to illustrate other functionality, but the time has come for us to look at lists specifically. And lists are different from tuples because they can be changed. And both the length of a list can be changed and the value of items in a list can be changed. And so let's look at what we mean by that. First, we'll create a list here. This is a list of integers between 1 and 6. And we can, at first, we can append items to the list. Let's put a float value in amongst all these integer values, right? So we've added to the length of that list. We can actually put a Boolean value in here too. Let's put false in here and add that. We could also put a string value into this list. We can say cat. Right, and we could even put a tuple value into here. 1, 2, 3. So there's a tuple that we've added into this list. This append function puts items onto the end of the list, but pop function will remove items from the list, and it'll remove the last item. So if we run this, what do we get? We have popped that tuple off of the end of our list. So right there, we've shown that we can both add to the length and subtract from the length of a list. What about changing the value of items in a list? What we've done down here is you just said, well, where is item number 5? That's going to be here, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want to change that integer 6 into a string value of cat. And if we run that, there you can see that also the values are mutable, not just the length. Now, interestingly, we can convert tuples that exist inside lists. We can convert them to lists themselves. What do we mean by that? Well, if you look up here, we created this sequence tuple 2. Let me run that so we know it's available for us. And if I output that down here, we'll see that what we have is a list within which we have 5 tuples. And so I'm going to take tuple index 0, which is this, and we're going to put it into this variable, and then we're going to output that variable. Okay, well, there it is. We now have taken this tuple from the list, and there it is. It exists as a tuple on its own. Can I change the value of this 5 into a string value? Well, no, because tuple objects do not support item assignment. That means they're immutable. We can't change that. Let me comment this out and run that again so it cleans it up. That was the wrong one. But what we can do is take this sequence tuple to index 0 and we can convert that to a list. And we'll put it in a variable called tup_convert. And we see that now those same values exist here. Let me get that back here. So this came out as a tuple, but we converted this one to a list. So now, can we change index 1? Well, we should be able to. I should have put that in a variable, shouldn't I? Delete that, run this. And yes, we were able to convert that because we changed it into a list. So we can convert tuples into lists. We can also append, right? We can append onto that. Let's run this. And we've changed and we've added to that. And but interestingly, the original sequence tuple 2 is still left intact because all we did is we grabbed these values and we converted the values outside of this out of this original list of tuples. Now, what we can do though is we can say, let's take this second tuple in here, number 1, and change this, because remember, this is simply an item in a list, and items within lists are mutable. Sequence tuple 2 here. And there we go. We've gone ahead and changed this from 1, 2, 3 into cat, dog, and chicken.